got the duck in the hand, and we can do a bunch of things with free transform, which I'm going to show you. So if I go to free transform again, which is also Command T, if I go off here now, I'm not clicking down, I'm just holding here, and I'm clicking, moving over, stop. And then you can you see how it just turned, there's a little turn? Now when I click down, I can rotate the bad boy. Ooh, a little duck in hand action. Okay, so we've got our duck in our hand, we've rotated a bit. I'm going to get rid of that. We make sure we've seen layers. If you don't see your layers, go to Window, make sure the layers are up. Okay, a lot of different things. Because of the way Photoshop has been set up to be a personal setup for you. So what that means is that every time you open it, it's going to set up the way you like it. So if it's on your machine. If it's on the school machine, it will all set up sort of in a default mode. But so you need to make sure you've got your layers open. These may look slightly different because it will leave it up in whatever way you've done. So I'll try and be more specific about where things are coming in. So we're going to start by making a layer on top of this. So down in the layers palette here, this is the layers palette, we're going to put the add, and this is going to put a brand new spanking layer on top of it. And what we're going to do is we're going to do a little fancy footwork here. We're going to see down here, this is telling you this is your foreground color, this is your background color. If I click on the foreground color, I get a bunch of different colors. Now, the way the colors work is the slider goes up and down, and you should be seeing this coming up this way. But this is the way I like it. There's about 4 different ways to use colors in Photoshop. You may have learned a different way. This is one of the way I use. So you can see it goes from white to black through a color. So I'm going to choose that sort of pinky tone. Oh yeah. And I'm going to be on this layer, and I'm going to use the brush. Now the brush is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 down. Okay? And it tails up and says it's the brush tool. Now, every time you use a tool, you'll see there's more information up here. This will do the size. You can make it bigger. You can make it smaller. You can make it hard. You can make it soft. I'm going to make this like soft. You can make it whatever you want. So I'm going to just make in colors work here. And this is where I'm going to go back and forth, and I'll do ugliness. This is all about the ugliness. I might change this to being really big. Bam. And I might change it to blue. And you'll see I'm just making something ugly. And all I'm doing is, oh, and then I always like doing this. I always go into like red spots. So truly ugly, truly disgusting, yippee. Now, obviously, this is on its own level. If I turn off these all, you'll see it's on its own layer. You want to make sure you're on your layer. You can tell you're on your layer by it's highlighted and it's got the eyeball. So there we go. All right. So now you'll notice when you look at this, it comes up as normal. If I click up here, I get a lot of different modes that this can be. And if you walk down them, you'll see that you're going to get it to do some fun and funky things. I happen to be a great fondness for overlay, just because you get some color, you get some information, soft light, hard light. Difference is pretty darn good too. So I'm going to go to overlay, and you know, I'm still in that red, so I'm going to add a little red on those arms. Okay. I might even decide that I'm going to go down to my layer, add a layer there, so there's a layer in between, and I'm going to make this black this out. How I'm going to do this is I can either click here and go into black, or I see this little arrow here. I can click on here, and now the background is the foreground. Click on this. I'm in there, and I'm on this layer. I'm going to just do this, and I'm getting rid of the head there. So now it looks like I've got the duck in the hand. All right. Now the other thing we want to do is we want to make that duck so that it looks like the hand is holding it. So if we take this down, we want that hand to be over it. I took a little of that out. Let me hit Command Z and go backwards. Okay, I'm going backwards, and there's a reason I'm doing that, because I want to make sure that I don't take out that thumb. All right, so see, it's just this little black trying to take that out. So now what I'm going to do is take my layer of my duck, and I'm going to reduce the opacity on it. Come on. So I can see it, right? All right. So what I want to do is I want to open this up so it looks like the duck is being held. How I'm going to do this? You can use the eraser, but then if you make a problem, you can't go back. So what we're going to do is we're going to use the masking layer. Down here, see this little thing? It's a square with a circle in it. I'm going to click on that. And I get this. Now, white means that it's absolutely opaque and black is transparent. And you'll see what I'm talking about. I'm now going to go into my eraser tool, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. And it comes up. You can see it says eraser tool. All right, just going to click on that. I'm going to make sure if you get something different, you want to bring it back to the eraser tool. And I'm going to go to the eraser tool, and I'm on this layer. Can you see I've got this squared around? And I'm going to click here, and I'm going to do this. Now I've left the duck down a little bit so that I can see where this is. I don't have to do the rest of it. I just have to do where the fingers are. And get those fingers looking right there. Okay? Right? And I'll take the thumb and do the same thing here. Okay. So now I'm going to go back to the duck, just that whole layer, and I'm going to bring the opacity up to 100%. And oops, need to go in there a little bit further. All right, I'm going to do a little bit more. You can see I'm just going back in and fixing it. Now, say I made a hideous mistake, like went like that. Oh my dear, made a mistake. Because this is a masking layer, all I need to do is use my brush, make sure I'm on there, and I can bring it back. All right. So that's your first duck in hand.